Good morning. Welcome to Morning Special. 여러분 안녕하세요. 11월 19일 화요일 최수진의 Morning Special입니다. There's a reason why the world loves K-pop idols. Their voice, dance moves, talent, looks, acting skills. Well, these elements are all important foundations, but above all, there is one trait that makes them even better, one that's easily overlooked, and equally, easily the reason why not everyone can be an idol. 네, 전 세계가 BTS 방탄소년단을 사랑할 이유에 한 가지가 더 추가됐습니다. 바로 그들의 레드카펫 의상인데요. 방탄소년단이 지난 2월 그래미 어워즈 시상식에서 입었던 턱시도 의상이 내일부터 미국 로스앤젤레스 그래미 뮤지엄에서 열리는 On the Red Carpet Presented by Delta Exhibit 전시회에서 대중에 공개됩니다. 당시 BTS는 유명한 명품 브랜드 의상을 협찬받는 대신 한국 디자이너의 옷을 선택해 화제가 되기도 했는데요. 그 이유에 대해 훌륭하지만 덜 알려진 디자이너가 자신들을 통해 조명받을 수 있도록 하고 싶었다고 밝힌 바 있습니다. Well, they could have chosen literally any designer in the world to attend the event, but their choices and the reason behind such choices are well deserving of our utmost respect and support. And with that in mind, here's a quiz question for today, the first hour that is. Here is the question. BTS are arguably the most feel-good newsmakers of this generation. One of their hit songs is 1번 Love Yourself, 2번 Love the Bangtan, 3번 Love 모스 골라주시면 되겠습니다. 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여 기다리고 있을게요. 퀴즈 정답 보내주신 분들 중에 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 A Date with BTS가 아니고요. 네, 떡볶이 세트 보내드리도록 하겠습니다. 또 소식 그리고 소감, 방송 중 궁금한 질문 있으시면 보내주세요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. Okay then, let's kick off today's show with today's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
The situation in Hong Kong has escalated to its worst to date as protesters and police forces held their most intense confrontation on Monday.
홍콩 시위대와 경찰 간의 극한 충돌로 홍콩 사태가 전쟁터를 방불케 하는 최악의 국면으로 치닫고 있습니다.
Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who is slated to become the longest-serving prime minister in the country's history, saw his approval rating drop 6 percentage points in the past month.
역대 최장 재임 총리로 기록될 아베 신조 일본 총리의 지지율이 한 달 새 6%포인트 급락했습니다.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa has been sworn in as Sri Lanka's new president.
고타바야 라자팍사 스리랑카 전 국방부 차관이 새 대통령으로 취임했습니다.
Venice has closed major landmarks as floods hit for the third time in a week.
물의 도시 이탈리아 베네치아가 일주일째 최악의 물난리를 겪고 있습니다.
The U.S. has issued a 90-day extension of a license allowing U.S. companies to continue doing business with China's Huawei technologies.
미국 정부가 중국 통신 장비 업체 화웨이에 대한 거래 제한 조치를 90일간 다시 유예하기로 했습니다. And for the headlines and more, I'm joined by Steve. Good morning.
You just made that tteokbokki set seem like a really bad gift. Because first you said, a date with BTS, kidding, it's a tteokbokki set, which is also a great prize.
It is a great prize.
They are something else, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they're amazing. And they chose a relatively unknown Korean designer, at least internationally unknown, and they wore, you know, their suit to the award ceremony. And then people, you know, they're always saying, what are you wearing?
Yeah,
Who are
of
you
course.
wearing?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And BTS said they deliberately chose this Korean designer because they wanted to use their own limelight as a pedestal for other people in Korea.
That's great.
That's lovely.
Yeah, really good,
Yeah.
huh? BTS, what does it stand for, by the way? I've never known.
방탄소년단.
What is-
but some, yeah.
What does that mean?
So it's like Bulletproof Boys?
Oh, that's a
Is that
good
right?
name.
Yeah.
Bulletproof Boys.
Something like that.
Nice and tough, huh? Nice.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to them. And congratulations to the designer, too. That's really
Yeah,
cool, right?
It really is. Yeah, I know. We should get them to, wear like a morning special bracelet or the bag or something.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give them tumblers that they can
Yeah,
carry onto the
exactly.
red carpet.
Just a sticker, anything.
Or eco bags
Yes,
that
exactly.
the show used to have. Do you know what I did last night?
What did you do last night?
It was really cool. It took me back to my childhood. I was watching this documentary about vegan food and eating vegetables and getting your protein from vegetable-based diets and things like that, as opposed to eating beef and pork and things along those foods. And it got me thinking, I remember what my grandma used to make me when I was a kid. And it's so simple. And I decided to, quote unquote, make it. It's not even really making it. So all you do is you take some spinach. I went to the store and I bought some spinach.
Yep.
And then you just blanch it in some hot water for, 30, 45 seconds. Right? And that
okay.
it wilts it, WILT, wilt. It wilts the spinach. And then you put it on your plate as a side dish. But here's the key. You put white vinegar on it.
아, 그래요. 블란치하는 게 이제 우리말로 하면 데친다는 뜻인데 시금치를 데쳐서 그다음에 식초를
Just
얹어요?
about 2 capfuls of white vinegar and just kind of
interesting.
spread it over the top. And it I was thinking when I was eating it, first of all, I was thinking about my grandma, may she rest in peace. And I was thinking too, this is kind of like a hot kimchi, kind of.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
try it out. It's super
I will.
simple and really tasty too.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
What did you have for breakfast this morning? 강민전 님이요. 수진쌤 오늘 엄청 우아해 보이세요. 라고 하셨습니다. 감사합니다. 오늘 화장 받고 왔습니다.
You do look a little different today. Do you have a special
got-
event happening?
Yeah, I have a shoot later on. So I got my makeup done. You know what's funny?
How fancy.
I got my falsies in, my false eyelashes, and then after I got all my makeup done, I decided to wear soft contact lenses
Okay.
just to enhance my eyesight.
Yeah.
And it took me like 15 minutes to put them in because I
You're
don't
not-
normally wear contact
you're not
lenses.
used to it.
And I lost half of my eyelashes in the process.
Oh no. So you had to redo them again?
No, if you look closely, I don't have half of my eyelashes.
It's going to
on
be
one
the
eye.
new look for 2020.
It is.
Half eyelashes.
김윤희 님이요. 어머, 새벽 몰래 다녀간 첫눈 이벤트인가요? 수진쌤 아름다우세요. 그 기운 받아 저도 굿모닝 시작하겠습니다. 라고 보내주셨습니다.
What's the
Thank
shoot?
you.
It's a fashion shoot? Magazine cover? Wait a minute. Are you going with BTS to some sort of
Yay!
red carpet event?
I wish.
I wish too. That would be really cool.
All right. If you'd like to listen to the headlines again, you can do so by going to our website, Morning Special 홈페이지에 들어가셔서요. 헤드라인 다시 듣기 무료로 하실 수 있습니다. 많은 이용 바랍니다. Let's go over the headlines.
Headline number 1 this morning. The situation in Hong Kong has escalated to its worst to date as protesters and police forces held their most intense confrontation on Monday.
홍콩 시위대와 경찰 간의 극한 충돌로 홍콩 사태가 전쟁터를 방불케 하는 최악의 국면으로 치닫고 있습니다.
So more than 400 people have reportedly been arrested while trying to escape from Hong Kong Polytechnic University since Sunday. And the student protesters became trapped inside the university after Hong Kong police closed all of the university exits. Demonstrators hurled petrol bombs and bamboo poles and bricks and shot arrows at police officers.
네, 그렇습니다. 홍콩 과기대에서 벗어나기 위해서 탈출을 시도한 한 400여 명이 체포됐다는 업데이트가 있는데요. Tell us about this school. It's actually situated sort of in the center of all of this, right?
It is, and I looked at a map, and I'm not an expert, but from what I could tell from looking at the map, the university is kind of city center, and it has multiple exits, so there's roads kind of surrounding many parts of the university.
Yeah.
But the police have blocked those exits, and the president of the university had said students are free to leave, protesters are free to leave, as long as the students don't do anything to bring about violence, then the police won't either. students have tried to leave, protesters have tried to leave, but when they've tried to leave any of those exits, they've been met with tear gas or water cannons or been arrested.
Right, and as I understand it, this school has been central in forming some of the protests, at least for the students anyhow. The other universities across Hong Kong, most of them have been vacated now. They are pretty much empty. But this one, it still has a lot of students inside. And now it does seem, as you said, police are deciding to really crack down on the school.
Yeah, one of the volunteers, they asked her what they planned to do, and she said, these are 20-year-old kids. They don't have any plans. Everyone is really nervous. And another volunteer, when asked, said that the group inside the university was exhausted. They are now facing dwindling supplies of food and water, and some peaceful protesters, like I said, wanted to leave, others wanted to stay, but people are getting tired and they do not want to surrender.
Well, it doesn't look like things are dwindling at all over in Hong Kong.
It certainly does not. An interesting side note on this story, you remember back when we talked about Carrie Lam's decision to ban the face masks,
That's right.
Well, Hong Kong's High Court ruled on Monday that this law, revived by the government to ban protesters from wearing these face masks, was unconstitutional.
That's right. 이제 복면 금지법이 사실은 이제 위헌이다라는 홍콩 고등 법원의 결정이 내려졌습니다. That means that the police have less reason to crack down on anyone, really.
Yeah, that's right. Other side notes here, several Asian airlines have cut their flights to Hong Kong for the coming weeks. Korea's Jeju Air and Jin Air in that group. A spokesperson from Jeju Air said that they would reduce their daily flights from Seoul to Hong Kong to 1 from 2, and that will be through December 17th, and a spokesperson from Jin Air said that the airline had suspended their Seoul to Hong Kong flights through to December 24th.
그렇군요. 우리나라에서도 이제 홍콩으로 가는 항공편이 지금 이제 잠정적으로 줄어들고 있다라는 소식이 되겠습니다. 일단은 제주에어 같은 경우에는 12월 17일까지 하루에 한 편으로만 제한을 하겠다라고 밝혔는데요. Please do take precaution and if possible, stay away.
Just on a personal note, I have a friend who lives in Hong Kong with his son, and he decided to leave and come back to Korea because the situation, I mean, he had been there since the beginning, living there with his son, but he made the decision to leave, and I think people are starting to do that now.
All right, so let's move on to our second headline.
Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who is slated to become the longest-serving prime minister in the country's history, saw his approval rating drop 6 percentage points in the past month.
역대 최장 재임 총리로 기록될 아베 신조 일본 총리의 지지율이 한 달 새 6%포인트 급락했습니다.
So the approval rating for his cabinet has slipped to 49%. That's down 6 percentage points from 55% in the previous survey. And it's also the first time for it to fall below the 50% mark in 9 months since February. This according to a nationwide opinion survey conducted by the Yomiuri Shimbun.
네, 그렇습니다. 요미르 신문에 따르면은 이제 한 여론조사 결과예요. 그런데 매달 이 여론조사를 실시했는데 아베 내각의 지지율이 지금 몇 달 만이죠. 2월 달 이후로 처음 50% 이하로 떨어졌다고 합니다. 지난달 같은 경우는 55%였는데요. 이번에는 49%, 그러니까 6%포인트 떨어졌죠. And tomorrow, which is the 20th, will mark the day that he becomes the longest serving prime minister in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of a juxtapose, isn't it? Where he's becoming the longest serving, yet his approval rating has dropped. When asked why, the most common reason for not supporting the cabinet was that respondents do not trust the prime minister. This answer was given by 45% of respondents. That's a big increase on the 35% in the previous poll. And the fall in the approval rating is believed to be largely due to criticism that has surfaced about the large number of people that were connected to Abe's support group who were invited to attend the Prime Minister's annual cherry blossom viewing party.
네, 그렇습니다. 지지율 하락에 대한 이유를 조금 더 살펴보게 되면은요. 이 여론조사 결과에 따르면 총리를 신뢰할 수 없다라는 응답이 가장 많이 나왔어요. 45%였는데요. 그 배경에는 이제 최근에 있었던 벚꽃을 보는 모임에 자신의 그 지역구 후원의 관계자들을 초청하는 일이 있었다고 합니다. 이게 이제 국민들의 공분을 샀다고 하죠. And lots of other reasons as well. 그러면서도 이제 또 내일이 마침 아베 총리가 역대 최장 총리에 등극을 하는 날이 되는데요. 가스라 다로 전 총리는 2886일 재임을 했었습니다. 그게 이제 내일자로 아베 총리가 넘게 됩니다. All right, let's leave that story there and go on to our next one.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa has been sworn in as Sri Lanka's new president.
고타바야 라자팍사 스리랑카 전 국방부 차관이 새 대통령으로 취임했습니다.
So Rajapaksa is the first retired military officer to assume the top office, and he is also the brother of outgoing President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Anyway, he addressed the nation and he promised or pledged to give national security a priority and follow a neutral foreign policy. He said, I knew that I could win with only the votes of the majority, but I asked Tamils and Muslims to be a part of my success. Their response was not what I expected. However, I urged them to join me to build one Sri Lanka. And what he's referencing there is he appealed to minority Tamils and Muslims who form about 20% of Sri Lanka's 22 million population to rally around him.
와우, 부패는 용납되지 않는다라는 얘기를 한 고타바야 라자팍사 스리랑카의 새 대통령인데요. 이전에 이제 2005년부터 15년까지 대통령을 역임했던 마한다 라자팍사의 동생이기도 합니다. Hopefully he'll be able to follow in his brother's footsteps and serve, well, I think it was 10 years the last time his brother served. So.
Yeah. He has a couple of challenges ahead of him. The huge task, I think, is lifting the economy out of the doldrums, if we can put it that way. The country faces a huge debt burden, but he's off to a good start. He won with a 52.25% of the vote in Saturday's election. He defeated the ruling United National Party candidate, Sajith Premadasa.
Alright. 네, 그러면서 이제 취임 소감으로는 이제 앞으로 그 부패 척결 그리고 중립 외교 방침을 강조했다고 또 외신이 전했습니다. Okay, let's move on to our next headline.
Headline number 4 this morning. Venice has closed major landmarks as floods hit for the third time in a week.
물의 도시 이탈리아 베네치아가 일주일째 최악의 물난리를 겪고 있습니다.
So Italy has been suffering their worst series of high tides since, get this, 1872, the year 1872. And the estimated cost of the damage thus far is 1 billion euros. They've closed St. Mark's Square as they've had their third major flooding in less than a week. And it's not only Venice. Rain has lashed the rest of the country and warnings were issued in Florence and Pisa as well.
네, 그렇습니다. 지금까지 추정된 피해액만 1조 3천억 원에 달한다고 하죠. 그리고 이렇게 그 베니스 그러니까 베네치아뿐만 아니라 피렌체, 플로렌스 그리고 피사까지도 비상이라는 소식입니다.
Have you ever visited before?
I've never been to Italy.
Neither have I, but it's one of the most famous landmarks in the country, if not the world.
지금 보이는 라디오에 나오고 있습니다.
Yeah, we're not showing the image on Point and Radio right now, but look at how high that water is. Anyway, we're not showing the image of the St. Mark's Square where the guy was swimming. Did you see that?
Yeah. And look at these. These are just planks of wood, temporary bridges, because at one point the highest level was 187 centimeters a few days ago.
That was last Tuesday.
Yeah, and then it went down a bit, and then it's been going up and down ever since. So, you know, at certain times of the day, it gets a bit worse. And so, like you said, for a week, the people of this city have been doing nothing but sweeping water out of their shops and houses and even landmarks.
Yeah, you're right. 187 centimeters last Tuesday, then it went down to 150 centimeters on Sunday. Those are some of the highest levels in half a century, but still considered quite dangerous. Talking about homeowners and shop owners, residents whose houses have been hit are eligible for up to 5,000 euros in immediate government aid, and restaurant and shop owners can receive up to 20,000 euros, and also they can apply for more later. But it's not just we're always seeing the images of the water right now, but this is really affecting people's lives in the cities and also tourism, because most of the city's cash machines are no longer working because of the water, and it's just making life really, really difficult on everyone.
Yeah, and you just mentioned that the government will be giving out subsidies for people who need help, but the floods in the first place are being blamed on the government because of their lack of prevention in the first place.
Yeah, we talked about that a few days ago, didn't we? That this plan had been in place for a long time, but because of corruption and other reasons, these barriers that they had planned to put in place just never got put in place.
Exactly. 그렇습니다. 이번 사태가 이제 인재라는 목소리도 많이 나오고 있는데요. 해수면 상승에 대비를 정부가 좀 덜 했다라고 하면서 국민이 이것은 자연재해라기보다는 인재다라고 보고 있다고 합니다. Let's go on to our final headline.
Final headline this morning, the U.S. has issued a 90-day extension of a license allowing U.S. companies to continue doing business with China's Huawei technologies.
미국 정부가 중국 통신장비 업체 화웨이에 대한 거래 제한 조치를 90일간 다시 유예하기로 했습니다.
So earlier this year, the U.S. Department of Commerce effectively blacklisted this Chinese mobile giant on national security grounds, and this prevented American firms from doing business with the company. But this ruling limited Huawei's access to important components and to the Android operating system as well as Google applications. But now there's this 90-day exception, and it is another step in the right direction, it seems, between the China and U.S. relations.
There's already been 2 extensions, and that one ends on the 18th local time, which would be today, literally. And so there's going to be another extension, as you said, and that means companies that already have contracts with Huawei will be able to keep the network systems going and have their softwares updated by Huawei.
That's right. It was reported that the U.S. government was considering a 2-week temporary extension followed by a longer period, but the regulatory work involved was considered to be quite difficult, they say. So instead, the Commerce Department, they plan to use the same legal mechanism that they used in August.
네, 그렇습니다. 이렇게 다시 제재가 유예되면서 이미 계약을 맺고 있는 기존 고객사들 같은 경우에는 소프트웨어 업데이트도 받을 수 있고요. 그다음에 통신 네트워크를 유지할 수 있다고 합니다.
Yeah, and these are in rural communities too. They've been effectively frozen out of the U.S. market, but these rural mobile operators, they rely on their equipment because it's cheaper than the competition. This is a quote from Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross. He said, "There are enough problems with telephone service in the rural communities. We don't want to knock them out. So one of the main purposes of the temporary general licenses is to let those rural guys continue to operate."
Yeah, and I wonder if this means a thawing of ties between the US and China. Because of the trade war, of course, it's not over.
We'll have to wait and see.
All right, well, those are our headlines for this morning. Steve, what's the quiz?
BTS are arguably the most feel-good newsmakers of this generation. One of their hit songs is Love blank. Is it number 1, Love Yourself, number 2, Love the Bangtan, or number 3, Love 모스?
짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 1부에는 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 아주 맛있는 떡볶이 세트 보내드리겠습니다. We'll be right back after the American Authors Champion. We have some news-focused stories. You're listening to Morning Special. 9814님이요. 우리 방탄소년단 자랑스럽습니다. 이들 덕분에 중년의 위기를 사랑 충만하게 잘 보내고 있어요. 참고로 저는 40대 아미입니다. 방탄은 사랑이에요. 오늘도 사랑 가득한 하루 보내시길 바랍니다. 하셨습니다. You know what the fans are called? The army.
The army.
Yeah, this person is an army member.
Uh-huh. And I know that you do not mess with the army.
Oh, yeah.
They will protect their BTS members for sure, right?
Absolutely. A lot of army fans actually, I think, tune into our show. I was very surprised because
nice.
every time we talk about BTS, we get people writing in.
We'll get our own Mosta army.
Maybe.
Okay. This is fun. If BTS fans are called the army, what can we call Morning Special fans? Please text in your recommendations. We need a group name, right?
모스의 팬클럽 이름은 뭐라고 부르면 좋을까요? 스티브 선생님의 질문입니다.
We need something cool.
제안 보내주세요.
Yeah.
우명호 님이요. 방탄소년단이 한국을 세계에 알리는데 정말 큰 기여를 하고 있는 것 같네요. 앞으로도 계속 쭉 좋은 활동하면서 한국 문화를 세계에 많이 알려주길 바랍니다. 라고 보내주셨어요. Now, apparently there's a little correction we need to make with the quiz question. And of course, we don't want to upset anyone today, especially the army. Love Yourself is the name of the album of BTS, not their song.
Nice. You're lucky you caught that correction because
Paul, our writer, says he is deeply sorry and you're forgiven.
Yeah, and Kim Ji-yeon Nim made us aware of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes. 최봉님 님이요. 사진 보내주셨습니다. 스티브 선생님, 짜잔! 저 다녀왔습니다.
You went to Hinano Cafe.
여기에요. LA.
Okay. Was this just yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Just yesterday, our listener 최봉님 님 texted in, and I'll share the story in case you missed the show yesterday, saying, I'm going to LA for a business trip. I'm very excited. And I said, if you go to LA and if you have time, go to Venice Beach Hinano Cafe. Now, don't get me wrong. I have no connection to that cafe whatsoever, other than, in my opinion, they have the best cheeseburger in the world. And you went there and you had the burger.
Wow.
Looks good,
Which one's the cheeseburger? The one on the left?
On the left, obviously. Have you seen a cheeseburger before?
It's my first time. What do they have in a cheeseburger? So, Steve, do you want to continue reading that message?
It says, please, LA's weather is awesome, and I'm enjoying my first day of my business trip. Please see my face, how much I enjoyed the Hinano Cafe through the pictures.
Uh-huh.
There
is.
That's it, right in front of the cafe, yeah.
어제 LA에 가는 길입니다라는 사연을 보내주셔서 스티브 선생님이 여기 한번 가보세요 했는데 24시간 내에 정말 뚝딱 다녀오셨네요.
Isn't that kind of cool? You
It's
know,
really cool.
You listen to a radio show and one of the members of the show is like, oh yeah, go have this burger. And you're like, okay, I'll go check it out. And then you do. Oh, that's
amazing.
That's awesome. The world is a very small place these days.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that picture, 최봉님님, and thank you all for your messages. Keep sending them in, also quiz answers, as well as any questions you might have during this show. We have 5 떡볶이 sets waiting for their new owners. 자, 그러면 첫 번째 뉴스 포커스부터 살펴보겠습니다. 주민 5명의 목숨을 앗아간 인도의 살인 코끼리가 포획된 지 6일 만인 지난 17일 숨졌습니다. 이에 대해 야생동물보호단체는 비난의 목소리를 높였는데요. Let's listen to the story.
An elephant named Osama bin Laden, after the infamous terrorist, has died in captivity days after he was captured for killing 5 villagers in India last month, officials said. The male elephant was tracked since October for apparently killing 5 people in the Indian state of Assam. On Monday, forestry officials found him and tranquilized him, taking him into captivity. Elephants often migrate to Goalpara, where the attack occurred, according to officials who have said that at least 700 elephants have been killed since 2011, partly because of their shrinking habitats.
So this elephant, nicknamed Bin Laden, killed a couple of people, 5 people.
Yes.
And then it was caught, and it was going to be sent back into the wild, right?
Back into the wild or back to a zoo. I'm not entirely sure what they were planning on doing with him. I think a zoo.
I see.
But he died, while in captivity. These types of stories break my heart because, you know, when we talk about deforestation a lot, when we talk about the planet.
Yeah.
And that's where animals that live in the wild, that's where their home is. And when you take away their habitat, then they get closer and closer to human populations. And we shouldn't be surprised, this is just my personal opinion, we shouldn't be surprised when we hear these stories of animal attacks. And it feels like we blame the animals. And in this case, they just tranquilized him and you were planning on giving him a good life. Unfortunately, he died in captivity. But still, I feel like we blame the animals when I think we should be blaming ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. Because elephants normally are very tame animals. Even in the wild, they don't normally go out and, hunt other animals per se, not like a tiger at least.
Yeah, that's right.
So this particular elephant is said to have had some sort of a heart disease as well. Nonetheless, there are voices being heard about, not being treated properly and things like that.
Exactly, yeah. Well, this male elephant was tracked since October. So if you are tracking someone or something, it means that you are following it very closely. You can put a tracking device on a car. You see it in the movies sometimes, right? The FBI or the police, they'll put this little device, this little gadget underneath a car. Beep, beep, beep. And then they can follow it through GPS.
Right.
That thing is called a tracker. But then we have other types of trackers as well. You can download an app on your phone that tracks your sleep.
Oh.
It follows your sleep patterns for you.
Wow, okay. I've
Oh,
never heard of that.
You didn't know about that?
No.
Yeah, so it's supposed to, I don't know how effective it is, but it's supposed to tell you how effective your sleep is.
I love that. 추적하다라는 뜻의 track가 여기서 쓰였는데요. 추적 장치는 tracking device가 되겠습니다. 또는 tracker라고도 할 수 있고요. Their habitats have been shrinking, right?
Yeah, this was what I was talking about before with deforestation and things of that nature. When their habitat gets smaller, it forces them into our habitat. And shrink is the term to take a look at here. Shrink means to get smaller. So if you have a wool sweater,
Okay.
and then you wash it in super hot water,
Yes, I've done that before.
what is going to happen to your sweater?
It's gonna shrink.
Your adult size sweater now becomes a doll size sweater because you shrunk, that's the past tense, S-H-R-U-N-K. You shrunk your sweater. It became a lot smaller.
그렇습니다. shrink가 이제 줄어들게 하다라는 뜻인데요. shrinking, 줄어드는 이라는 뜻이 되겠습니다.
Now, that's a literal definition, but we can use this figuratively as well.
Okay.
If your company hasn't been doing well recently, and your company's market share has gone from 17% to 12%, then you can say that your market share has been shrinking for the last few months, something like that.
그렇죠. 이게 크기만 줄어드는 게 아니라 어떤 양도 줄어든다라는 의미로 쓸 수 있습니다. Let's listen to the story one more time.
An elephant named Osama bin Laden, after the infamous terrorist, has died in captivity days after he was captured for killing 5 villagers in India last month, officials said. The male elephant was tracked since October for apparently killing 5 people in the Indian state of Assam. On Monday, forestry officials found him and tranquilized him, taking him into captivity. Elephants often migrate to Goalpara, where the attack occurred, according to officials, who have said that at least 700 elephants have been killed since 2011, partly because of their shrinking habitats.
자, 두 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 올여름 유럽을 강타한 폭염 때문에 알프스 빙하의 붕괴 위험이 더 커졌는데요. 위기에 처한 빙하를 지키기 위해 수천 미터 알프스 고봉 비행에 나선 감시자가 있습니다. 바로 독수리입니다. Let's listen to the story.
Victor, a 9-year-old white-tailed eagle, set off on a mission to raise awareness of climate change in the Alps, which have already been hit hard by the rise in global temperatures. Victor is part of the Alpine Eagle Race Project, which aims to raise awareness of melting glaciers and other effects of global warming through the combined eyes of the eagle, a photographer, and a scientist. The images are stunning, but the cause is bittersweet. Victor soars over the Alps with a camera on his back to catalog the impact of temperature rise on Western Europe's highest mountain range.
네, 날개 길이가 쫙 펼치면은 2m나 되는 이 독수리 빅터는요, 360도 카메라를 달고 이제 날아다니면서 사진을 찍습니다. 그 사진이 정말 아름답지만 또 한편으로는 지금 환경 오염 때문에 우리가 잃어가고 있는 여러 가지 자연적인 모습도 볼 수 있는데요. Wow, look at that. 지금
Yeah.
영상을 보여드리고 있습니다. 그 카메라로 찍은 영상입니다.
Yeah, they say I think 4 kilometers is the distance, the maximum distance that Victor can go and still see where he's supposed to go. And his handler
Yeah.
stands there with orange clothing on so that Victor knows exactly the path that he's supposed to take to get back to his handler. It's
Wow.
really amazing, isn't it?
It is, and it's literally a bird's eye view that we're getting of the earth.
Usually that's just an expression.
맞아요.
This is an actual bird's eye view.
맞아요. 위에서 아래를 내려볼 때 우리가 보통은 새의 시선에서 본다라는 뜻의 bird's eye view로 쓰지만 실제로 새의 시선에서 볼 수 있는 경우는 그동안 별로 없었는데요. 이렇게 영상을 통해서 볼 수 있게 됐습니다. But as you can see there, you know, not as much ice as there used to be, and they say that this could all disappear if we don't do something about it.
And that's why they say this is bittersweet. Let's
Yep.
start with that expression first in this article. Yeah, it's amazing when you watch the video with this camera on this bird and you see the stunning images, the beautiful images of the Alps. But then you think, oh, why are we looking at these images? And that's because of the rise in global temperatures. And that's why we say it's bittersweet. Bittersweet is something is good, but it's also bad.
그렇습니다. bitter는 이제 쓴 거고 sweet는 단 거잖아요. 그래서 쓴맛, 단맛 다 있다. 이 영상과 여기서 우리가 볼 수 있는 화면들이 굉장히 아름답지만 반면에 이렇게 알프스 산맥의 빙하가 1m가 아니라 매해 30m씩 줄어든다고 하거든요. 그런 좀 씁쓸한 면도 같이 볼 수 있습니다.
Right. So if you break this into 2 words, bitter and sweet, usually we think bitter is bad and sweet is good.
Yeah.
I'll give you a really easy example. If your friend, your best friend, is moving to Europe because they got this amazing job opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're super happy for your friend, right? Incredible. Gonna go live in Europe with this great new job. That's the sweet part.
Yeah.
What's the bitter part?
You're going to miss your friend.
They're leaving.
Yeah.
Right? So two things in one situation. That's when we say it's bittersweet. So how can we use it in a sentence? If someone asks you, oh, how are you feeling? You know, Sue is moving to Europe for this great job. Say, yeah, bittersweet. You can just say that one word to explain how you feel.
네, 만감이 교차한다라는 의미로도 쓸 수 있고요. 때에 따라서는 시원섭섭하다처럼 이제 여러 가지 좀 상충되는 감정을 동시에 느낄 때도 쓸 수 있는 표현입니다.
Yeah, so the reason they're doing this, and we'll move on to our second expression here, is because the Alps have been hit hard
Right.
by the rise in global temperatures. So when someone or something has been hit hard, there's a big negative effect.
Right.
I'll use the example of Venice to give a sentence example for this expression. We didn't talk about it when we talked about the story, but there have been a lot of hotel cancellations in Venice because of the rising waters there. And that's really going to hit them hard. It's going to have a big negative economic, in this context, impact on the hotels.
네, 그렇습니다. 큰 타격을 입다라는 뜻의 be hit hard도 여기서 쓰였습니다. Let's listen to the story one more time.
Victor, a 9-year-old white-tailed eagle, set off on a mission to raise awareness of climate change in the Alps, which have already been hit hard by the rise in global temperatures. Victor is part of the Alpine Eagle Race Project, which aims to raise awareness of melting glaciers and other effects of global warming through the combined eyes of the eagle, a photographer, and a scientist. The images are stunning, but the cause is bittersweet. Victor soars over the Alps with a camera on his back to catalog the impact of temperature rise on Western Europe's highest mountain range.
Let's remind our listeners of the quiz again.
Let's get it right this time. Otherwise, the army is going to march into the EBS building this morning. BTS are arguably the most feel-good newsmakers of this generation. One of their albums is Love blank. Is the album called number 1, Love Yourself, number 2, Love the Bangtan, number 3, Love 모스.
네, 떡볶이 세트 총 5분께 추첨을 통해서 보내드리겠습니다. 노래 듣고 와서 세 번째 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요. This is All About You by McFly.
Should have called it It's All About Sue. It's all about Sue.
Wow, make me vain, Steve. Thank you.
Should have sung that to you on your birthday.
Well, we have another one coming up next year. So,
Right.
you asked earlier on what we should call the Morning Special fan club.
Yes.
박윤신님 says, Mossholic. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Not bad.
Yeah. 유지현님, Cosmos.
Okay, where's that come from?
Moss is
Yeah,
in the word cosmos.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know,
Cosmos. Okay,
cosmos.
got it.
모스 팬클럽 모스를 향한 코스모스처럼 환한 웃음이요 라고 보내주셨고요.
That's
Good
not bad,
idea.
yeah.
김혜성님은 How about moa? 매일 아침 라디오로 모이게 하니까요. 모으다, 모아. so, 모아.
Yeah, right. Also quite good.
그리고 0727님은 0727님은요. 모나미 나의 친구 모닝 스페셜에 모두 되고요. So 모나미 because it starts with an M like morning special.
Not bad. And then if you put member on the end of that, mon ami member. Kind of rolls off the tongue,
okay.
right?
Because they're all, MMs.
Exactly.
또 임지연님은요. 모스와 함께 모스랑 모스 사랑 그러니까 모스랑 추천합니다 라고 보내주셨습니다. Okay, that's a good one as well.
These are all great suggestions.
Yeah. And then this one's quite funny. 강리본님, mosquito. 영어를 쭉쭉 빨아들이는 mosquito. And this one sucks not blood, but English.
Oh, that's not. I like that there's an explanation along with the term. Those are all great. You're all the presidents of the club.
좋습니다. 네, 오늘 정하는 것은 아니지만 좀 기발한 아이디어 모두 감사드립니다. Alright, let's go on to our next news focus story. 자, 다음 뉴스 포커스로 가볼게요. 방글라데시에서 양파 가격 폭등으로 민심이 들끓자 현지 정부가 항공편까지 동원해 긴급 수입에 나섰습니다. 심지어 총리도 식단에서 양파를 빼기로 했다는데요. Let's listen to the story.
Bangladesh has been forced to import plane loads of onions from Myanmar, Turkey, China, and Egypt as the price soared to record highs since neighboring India banned exports in late September after heavy monsoon rains reduced the crop, with even the Prime Minister axing the bulb from her menu. Restaurants have also eliminated onions from their menus, and there has been a fall in the sale of deep-fried snacks normally cooked with onions. 1 kilo of the vegetable usually costs 30 taka or 36 US cents, but has soared up to 260 taka after the ban was imposed.
Onions. They're all looking for onions, and you know they don't have enough. So even the Prime Minister says, I'll take it out of my menu as well because we've run out of them.
Yeah, that's right. So the Prime Minister is not eating onions at the moment. Restaurants are not serving onions on their menus, and this might sound a little silly, but it's not. It's really serious because onion is a staple food in that culture. It's used in so many of their dishes, and this is quite a serious thing. If you look at the price increase from 30 taka to 260. That's a massive increase, isn't it?
It is, indeed. 가격도 가격이지만 이렇게 양파 찾기에 나서면서 항공편까지 동원했다라는 소식인데요. Let's look at some of the expressions here.
Yeah, so the Prime Minister has axed the bulb from her menu. B-U-L-B, bulb is in reference to the onion itself, right? But to axe something... It means to cut out something, to get rid of something, or in one context, it means to get fired. But we'll talk about that one in just a sec. So if you axe something off a menu, right? Imagine you have a literal axe and you have a menu in front of you and you hit that menu with the axe, well, then a part of that menu falls off.
Yeah.
Right? So let's say that that's the part with the onions on it. So to say that she axed onions from her menu, it means that they are no longer being served in her home.
네, 도끼를 사용해서 뭔가를 없애다라는 데서 유래된 표현인데요. axe가 동사로 쓰였을 때는 뭔가 없애다라는 의미고 뒤에 나온 bulb가 바로 이제 양파를 지칭하는 겁니다. 그래서 메뉴에서 양파가 사라졌다 이런 뜻이고요.
But like I said, hopefully we never have to use this other expression to get the axe. And that's when you get fired from a position. It's not when you retire. It's not when you decide to leave the job. It's when they decide you are leaving the job. When you get fired, you get the axe.
네, 영어에는 이제 해고되다에 해당되는 여러 가지 표현이 있는데요. 그 중에 하나가 도끼를 받다, get the axe입니다.
Yeah. Restaurants, as we mentioned, have also eliminated onions from their menus. To eliminate means to completely remove or to get rid of. So it means, does it mean that one dish has onions in it or two? No. They have been eliminated from the menus. Kind of the same meaning as axe, means they are no longer there.
네, 그렇습니다. 앞에 나온 axe랑 비슷한 표현인데요. 완전히 없애다라는 뜻의 eliminate가 쓰였습니다. Onions actually have been a very important aspect of politics as well in Bangladesh. There were certain times in the history of Bangladesh's politics where in 1980 and also in 1998, the general election, the main party, the leading party, lost their seats because of the rising prices, I should say, of onions.
Is that right?
So the people were very mad. They said the leading party wasn't doing their job, and so they got voted down.
People in Bangladesh aren't happy these days about it either.
Absolutely. Let's listen to this story one more time.
Bangladesh has been forced to import plane loads of onions from Myanmar, Turkey, China, and Egypt as the price soared to record highs since neighboring India banned exports in late September after heavy monsoon rains reduced the crop, with even the Prime Minister axing the bulb from her menu. Restaurants have also eliminated onions from their menus, and there has been a fall in the sale of deep-fried snacks normally cooked with onions. 1 kilo of the vegetable usually costs 30 taka or 36 US cents, but has soared to up to 260 taka after the ban was imposed.
Okay, and what's the answer to the quiz?
BTS are arguably the most feel-good newsmakers of this generation. One of their albums is called Love Blank. Is it number 1, Love Yourself? Number 2, Love the Bangtan? Number 3, Love Mosu? Please let me get this right. Love yourself?
It is absolutely right. 1번이었습니다.
That means I can come to work tomorrow.
이광희님, 이호순님, 김주환님, 2351님, 그리고 카카오톡 플러스 나설아님 축하드립니다. 떡볶이 세트 보내드릴게요. Steve, what is today's expression?
Hit hard. We gave the example. Well, first of all, the meaning of hit hard is when it has a big negative effect. We said hotels in Venice will be hit hard because of reservation cancellations. But something can hit you hard too. And we're talking about on an emotional level.
Yeah.
So let's say you break up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and then your friend asks you, how are you doing? Are you okay? Say, this breakup hit me hard. Meaning a big negative emotional effect.
네, 타격을 입다라는 뜻의 hit hard를 우리가 실현당한 후라든지 이렇게 좀 감정이 많이 상했을 때도 쓸 수 있는데요. It hit me hard라고 하면은 그것은 나에게 큰 타격을 입혔다. 시련 같은 거를 가리키면서 말할 수 있겠죠.
Or if you get the axe, it will probably hit you hard.
아, 그러네요.
Yeah.
해고를 당해도 마찬가지로 큰 타격을 입었다라는 얘기를 할 수 있겠죠. All right, fantastic. Hopefully no one has been hit hard by anything negative this morning.
Hopefully. Do I have time to answer this question?
Yes,
Before we
please
go,
do. Yeah.
Yamagishi Minako texted in, Steve 선생님 아까 데치다를 영어로 뭐라고 하셨어요? It's blanch, right?
Yeah.
B-L-A-N-C-H. It's when you put vegetables in hot boiling water, leafy greens, for a short period of time.
And another synonym would be to scald or maybe to dunk.
Yeah,
you
but for
think?
cooking purposes, I think we use the word blanch.
아, 알겠습니다.
Yeah.
데치다 더 좋은 표현 가르쳐주셔서 감사합니다. Thank you for that and thank you for everything really.
Thank you for having me, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Coming up in hour 2, we have Power English with daily idioms, and that, of course, is Say What. And we also have music with Punita. Taking us there now is Trio Toy Keat Gada Tea.